Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Don. Man, I hope you can hear me. I think you can. We're doing a little bit different today. Hello, everybody. I am so sorry about last night, Don. I got caught up making a video. You might have seen the video, and I appreciate being missed. I'm telling you. I turned around and I got a message about 9:20, and I was like, oh my gosh, I missed the window. Thanks. Hey, I appreciate the feedback. Thank you very much. We had to do it this way because I'm trying a new system out. So congratulations, Don. You're the gold medal winner. Carolyn is second with a silver medal. That is awesome. Susie coming in with the bronze. That is awesome. I absolutely love it. That is awesome. We're going to get started here in just a second. It's good to be back. I know I only missed one night, but it's good to be back. And I've got a bunch of notes. So, hi everybody. All right, let's kick this pig. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mickey in the Middle, the quintessential show for Middle Americans where all Middle Americans are welcome. This is the show about Middle America. This is the show that if you're a Middle American, it doesn't matter how you got here. It just matters that you are here right now. I cannot tell you how sorry I am about missing last night. It was one of those things I kind of got caught up in my own world, and I was making a video that I released this morning, and I put it on a couple of sites to get a little bit of feedback from it. And we're going to talk about that video that I made last night, and we're going to talk about how we got to where we are right now with this show and where Operation535.com came from. So, hello, Lane Cafeteria. Hello, Mark. How you doing? I am so glad that you guys are here. So, anyway, so Don came in first in the gold comments Olympics, and then who came in? Carolyn came in second, and Susie came in third. But thank you very much for everybody being here. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys being here. So, last night I made a new video about Mickey, from Mickey in the Middle to the world about Operation535.com. And the reason I had to make another video is somebody told me that the first video that I made was too PowerPointy, and that it was too long, and that it was boring, and it didn't get right to the point. And last night I tried to make a video that got straight to the point, that just basically said Congress is broken, and it's not a Republican or Democrat thing, but we need to do something about Congress, and then this is what my plan is, and I hope that you guys join me. Now, the interesting thing about making that video is the first time that I rolled it out, it was like 13 or 14 minutes long. And that's crazy long. Nobody's gonna pay attention for that long. And I am gonna have a project for you because I need help with Operation535.com. And it mainly has to do with what I was doing last night. In order to make a dynamic video, in order to make something that's dynamic that people want to watch, you have to be able to address certain things with a certain type of emotion. You have to be able to grab people and go, hey, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to focus your attention on this for just a second. And the crazy thing about that is, you guys know that I'm just crazy enough to step out of my comfort zone and ask the entire population of the United States of America to do something that will be worth doing. Now, I don't know whether Operation 535 is going to be a success. The chances of it being a success are an extreme long shot. And the reason I say that is, number one, there are 320 to 330 million people in the United States of America. Of those, about 270 million of them have an ability to vote in one form or another. I think that number is much less than that, but if you look at the numbers that came out of the last election, I was like, wow, that's a lot of people voting. And I don't know how many of those votes were good votes and how many of those votes were bad votes, but here's what the thing is. We did the exact same thing this time that we did last time. We sent the exact same crazy people up to Congress that we did last time. So in all of totality, the world did not change in Congress. Everybody's like, whoa, the Senate is split 50-50, and the House of Representatives is split 47 to 48% to 52, 53%, depending on how you look at the numbers and who's voting for who. The question is, can we break that system? And I put that out there on a couple of sites today, and I had some good feedback from that, and I had more people go to mickeyinthemiddle.com today than I've ever had go before, and I had people go to operation535.com, and we've got a Facebook page and a YouTube page, and so I just put it out there to get general feedback before I start spending money and before I start sending this around the world. And the crazy thing about that is, I don't know how much money it's going to take to contact 320 million people in the United States of America, but I imagine that's going to be substantial. So I'm trying to do this without spending any of my own money or without spending anybody else's money, because I am telling you right now, I am not going to take any money that comes into a YouTube channel or off of a Facebook page. I'm not going to take any of that money. And if I do get any of that money, I will immediately tell you, and then I'll immediately pour it into ads or something like that for that. But nothing is monetized as far as I know. However, I have signed an agreement with Rumble and YouTube for exclusive stuff, and they can do whatever they want to with it. And I did that a really long time ago, but I don't expect to get any money off of this. And the reason that I say that is if this thing happens to go viral, which it needs to go viral through people like you, through people like me, sharing this idea and getting it out there. Now, one of the concerns that I have is that if we go too early on this, then it's going to be lost in the clutter of the election later. But somebody reminded me not too long ago that there are a lot of primaries coming up, and if you can stop somebody from becoming a candidate for one of the parties, that's half of the battle. That's how AOC became a congressperson from New York. AOC was sitting in a bar bartending. She was perfectly happy. Word went out, says, hey, look here, we're looking for a Democrat who can run against an incumbent who has been in Congress for 4 or 5 terms, and they are not doing anything for our district, so we would like people to come in that we can make a candidate. And AOC went from being a bartender, she went to an interview, they sat down and they said, what do you think of politics? She told them. They were like, wow, she talks the good talk, she looks pretty, she's very electable. If we spend a lot of money with her, she will become the representative from this district in New York City. And she didn't go against anybody else. She went against a sitting Democrat member of the House of Representatives. And I don't know if anybody else knows that story, but that's a true story. I actually researched that. So she went into the primaries, and because not a lot of people vote in the primaries, she overwhelmed a person that had been sitting in a primary seat, and she beat the pants off that guy. And then there was no true Republican opposition to her seat because the Republicans had given up on the seat. And therefore, AOC ran basically unopposed for a congressional seat in her congressional district. In light of that, knowing what I know about that, then I'm like, hey, how come we don't primary all the people that are sitting in Congress? Because there are 470 people in the House of Representatives and in the Senate that are up for re-election this year. If you watched the video, you got to see that and how that was demonstrated. And because that's demonstrated that there's 470 candidates, if I don't put the video out now, then we can't primary them as they come up. And that's the general idea with this. So I had to put out the video much earlier than I wanted to. This is just the first installment of the video. And I need you to do me a favor. I just need you to understand that this is going to take a little bit of patience. We're going to have to talk a lot about operation535.com because you can't say it one time and then expect people to remember it. As a matter of fact, in marketing, they have the rule of 7, which is that if you want to sell somebody something, whether it's on TV or whether it's on the radio or whether it's in a store, you're going to have to typically make contact, or as they say in the business, touch that person 7 times. So if you want somebody to go to church with you, you can't just say, hey, let's go to church and expect them to show up. But if you say it 7 times, the chances are high that they might go to church with you. That's the rule of 7. If you're looking to sell a car, you're probably going to have to make contact with that person either through the internet or through the radio or through a TV ad or through telephone calls 7 times before you can sell them a car. Those are just the facts. So that's why I'm starting Operation 535. I started it a year ago. I got a message that said, hey, look here. Congratulations, you started the first Mickey in the Middle on Operation 535 1 year ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've already been at it this long. I couldn't even believe it, but that's the first time I put it out. So, hey, Darla's here. Hey, Darla, how you doing? I am so sorry. Thank you very much for the message last night and telling me that I missed the show. I'm so sorry. I apologize to you and everybody else. So, what I wanted to do tonight is, I don't know how many people have seen the video. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to go over the video. I was going to play the video, then I thought that, that's 5 minutes of wasted time. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through the script of the video, because I want you to understand that when you're talking about the video of Operation535.com that came out last night, there are some parts that I had to leave in, and the reasoning I left them in, and then the reasoning I took other things out. The main reason I took other things out, because I thought that 13 minutes was too long for a video. So that's the first thing. And then some people on some other sites that I posted the video on have very, very graciously pointed out some flaws with the plan for Operation535.com, or Operation 535. Can be found at Operation535.com. And those are worth talking about. And then finally, glasses. Oh, by the way, I got stabbed in the eye today. I don't know whether there's anything in there that you can see, but I had a doctor stab a needle in my eye and inject some pharmaceuticals in there. And he said, since the last time that he stabbed me in the eye, my eye is looking better. So I'm going to get stabbed for the next 3 or 4 months, and then we're going to see if it fixes it. So how about that? I got stabbed in the eye today. I hope are my eyes dilated? My eyes might still be dilated. I know that when I turned down the lights, it felt a lot better. So anyway, some of the problems, and then the 3 components that we're going to need in order to make Operation 535 work. So let's get right on it. So I'm going to flip over to this screen right here. You guys should still be able to hear me. Desktop audio's off. So basically, I said, hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Congress is broken, but we can fix it. We can fix it this year. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. We can fix Congress, but the chances of us fixing Congress is slim. Because it's going to take a lot of things to come together in order to make it work. However, that does not mean that we are not going to try to fix Congress. That's the first thing everybody needs to understand that's going to watch this video. We are going to try to fix Congress, and the best way that I know to do that is to overwhelm the system by sending people up there. So let's get back to this. I tell people right up front that this is not a Republican thing or a Democrat thing. It's not progressive or red or blue or anything like that. And the reason I need everybody to understand this is, if the American people act with resolve and act as one voice and say that Congress is messed up and that we need to do something about it because they have a job to do and they're not getting to their job, then I think that we stand a better chance. And then I outlined the 2 biggest reasons right away. The first reason is because, number one, we keep reelecting the same people over and over. And the second thing is, as soon as people we send up there go up there alone, they don't stand a chance. I would like you to imagine that you go through all the time, effort, and energy to get elected to Congress, and you walk up there, and Chuck Schumer, let's say the Senate, Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell are standing there, and they go, hey, if you don't play ball with us, the way that we do things up here, you newbie, you nub, you nothing, then you get nothing. You know, when they split up that $1.5 trillion spending bill that they just did, most of it was pork. Most of it was to fund, federal agencies, but the vast majority of it, and the reason that people went along with it, is because people kept asking for things like, I need this pig farm authorized, or I need this research grant, or we need to build this railroad or this whatever in their district. So they just took your money and they just doled it out. They just doled it out to all these people in Congress in order for them to get along, because that's what Congress does. Congress goes up there, gets political favors revolved around money, and then because they have all of this money that they can print or borrow or tax, then they can give it away to their constituency and everybody that's on board with the political parties. That's one of the things that really pisses me off about Congress. Congress is doing us no favors. They just spent another $1.5 trillion that we don't have. It's outrageous. The entire economy of the United States of America is worth about $4.5 trillion. That's every dollar that you make, every dollar that every business makes. That's all of the money that we get from all over the world that funnels through the United States is about $4.5 trillion. And we're $31.5 trillion in debt now. I'm not even going to get into modern day economic theory, because I watched the video the other night of me talking about economics and I bored even myself. I watched it back and I was like, oh man, you are pathetic, Mickey. You were absolutely horrible. So that's what the crazy thing is. But here's the one thing that I want to go over with you. And this is, so do I need to remind you 7 times about me coming out to vote for the VFW post-elections? No, you don't need to remind me. You just need to make sure that I get it in my calendar. That's the number one thing. Last year, I was unable to attend, but I think that you should have mail-in voting, and I think that you should send it to everybody in the country if you really want to have a true representation. So, I'm kidding. I'm a member of the VFW, or at least I was. I probably got to renew my membership. But yes, I will come out and vote. But that's one of the arguments about voting in the country, which we can discuss later, which is, what is the best way for people to vote in the United States of America? Is mail-in ballots valid? Is voting online valid? Does everybody have to show up one day? That's a conversation for another day, but I do appreciate you bringing that up. Make sure that voting at the VFW is in my calendar, and I will try to be in the state and in the city so that I can come out and vote. Last year it didn't work out, but we're going to try. So back to the video. Here are the numbers and the way that this works out. There are 535 people in Congress. I would like to repeat that. There are only 535 people in Congress. That's mind-blowing to know that the greatest legislative body ever developed in the entire world only consists of 535 people. That's 2 senators from every state and 1 representative for approximately every 750,000 people that we have in the United States of America. There's only 435 of them. And you're telling me that we can't get rid of 435 people? That's insanity, right? So the crazy thing about that is, of those people, 435 people that are in the House of Representatives are up for re-election, as well as 35 senators out of 100. That's 89%. Where's my phone? Let's do the phone thing. Here we go. That's 470 members of Congress. Blew it already. What percentage is 470 out of 535?
That would be about 87.8504%.
87% of the members of Congress are up for re-election this year. 87%. This is the opportunity that we need in order to affect change up there in Washington. And I needed to get that right up front, that number 1, we can change Congress. Number 2, here are the numbers. And number 3, this is not about political parties. This is about doing the right thing for the country. And that's what the insane thing is, because then I ask the question, what happens if we vote all of them out? What if we happen to vote for anybody except the people that are up in Congress? Because that is singularly the most important question. There are 470 people that are up for re-election. And if we vote them all out, then they have no power. You're not going to tell me that we don't have 470 other people in the United States of America that aren't qualified to go to Congress? You know what it takes to go to Congress? You have to be above 25 years of age. That's it. And a citizen. It doesn't matter whether you came here and became a citizen or whether you were born here and are a citizen. I think that you got to be 25 years old, and then you can go to Congress. That's how a lot of people got into Congress. They're just young and they showed up and they were like, hey, I'd like to go to Congress, and there's nobody else, and we sent them. That's how you get people that have no idea about political ideas, political ideology, political values, about representing not only their district but the country as a whole, doing the right thing for all of the people rather than doing the right thing for just their political party or their special interest. But in one fell swoop, one night in November, we can all make the difference. And that's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that this is an opportunity. We have the same opportunity every single 2 years. Every 2 years. That's Congress people that go to the House of Representatives only serve for 2-year terms. And the crazy thing is they get so much money from special interests and from the political parties, it's almost impossible to unseat them. So the next point that I made was Congress is broken. They're supposed to be good, but they're a dumpster fire wrapped in a train wreck. Or a train wreck wrapped in a dumpster fire. Now, no matter how you put it, they are just an absolute mess up there. They're all bought and paid for, all of them on both sides of the aisle. And then how bad is Congress? They have a 15% approval rating, but amazingly, 90% of incumbents get reelected. And this is the real reason why it happens. We're suckers. We're suckers. They get us so convinced. I had somebody on another one of the sites that I sent this out to goes, I'm going to vote for the most qualified candidate. And all I want to do is scream at him, go, you're an idiot. How do you know who is the most qualified? How many backroom deals? You only see these people from television ads or stump speeches. You don't know what's in their heart. You don't know how malevolent they are. By the way, malevolent is not good. You don't know how crooked these people are. You don't know where they're getting their money from. You don't know what kind of a family they're. I researched them. That's bullshit. I'm telling you right now, we don't know anything about the people in Congress except what they show us on TV. When somebody says, I wish we could fire Congress, everybody says it. Man, I wish we could fire everybody in Congress, or we need term limits. You're damn skippy, we need term limits. We do need term limits. But that's what voting is for. And these people got us all snowed, and we're nothing but suckers. And we're going to take this to the next level. We're going to say, hey, look here, we're tired of being suckers, man. The political parties and special interests have obviously bought all of these people off. How do I know that? Because the dude, I think his name is Dan Young from Alaska, has been in Congress for 49 years. 49 years. That means that the people of Alaska have elected him 24 times? The people in Alaska have elected Don Young to go back to Congress 24 times. He does good things for Alaska. He brings us lots of oil. Right, because he's playing the political games. He's screwing all the rest of us because he's placating to all the special interest groups. Well, he's doing the best thing he can for Alaska. Right, well, he's screwing the rest of the country. He's part of the problem. The leadership in the House and the leadership in the Senate, they've all been there for more than 3 decades. That means that Nancy Pelosi has been elected 15 times. That blows my mind. Maybe she's been elected 14 times. I don't know. You guys get the point. 14 or 15 times. Just look at Pelosi. Right. Watch this. How long has Nancy Pelosi been in the House of Representatives?
Here's an answer from wikipedia.org. She has served as representative from California since 1987.
87. Let's count that up, shall we? 87, 97, 07, 17. That's 30, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 35 years, folks. Nancy Pelosi's been up in Congress for 35 years. The people of her district, no matter how misinformed, she does a great job for us. She does? She does? She screwed us into the ground economically. She has screwed us into the ground on international relations. She has screwed us into the ground with over-regulating you. She has screwed you into the ground because she cannot control immigration policy. She has screwed everybody into the ground because she has spent too much money. She believes in pork and she buys everybody off. Guess what? Mitch McConnell does the same thing. He's a Republican. Nancy Pelosi is from California and from a district in San Francisco, and Mitch McConnell is representing Kentucky, and they're both doing the exact same thing. And you know what they're doing? They're eating ice cream, sipping brandies, and smoking cigars, and laughing at us because we keep sending them back. And all they do is screw Americans. They screw us. And you're like, Nancy Pelosi's doing the best job she can for gay people in San Francisco. Nobody's complaining about gay people in San Francisco. Oh, those Republicans are. Republicans don't care. It's a talking point of the left. Go live your life. Nobody cares. Well, those people hate brown people. Republicans don't hate brown people. That's another rumor. You know, liberals hate religious people. That's a rumor too. That's not true either. You can come up with every single one of these cliches. Well, if you like guns, you hate people. If you want an open border, you are for anarchy. Everybody can come with. They're all talking points to keep you fired up, to make you go, the only person that can save me is Mitch McConnell. The only person that can save America is Ted Cruz. The only person that can save us is Beto O'Rourke. And he's not even in the House or the Senate. But it's ludicrous when you start thinking that we keep sending the same people back over and over and over and expecting a different result. The only way we can do this, we can only fix it ourselves because they're snowing us. They're playing us for suckers. That's the simple thing about it. So, what else did I say in here? Let's see. Mark says, Lane says Nancy Pelosi. Yep. Bozeman is running similar ads to convince voter he's doing a good job. Let me talk about Bozeman for just a second. I looked it up. Do you know that Senator